A lot of guys coming up, big fights, not just in the UFC, but outside of it, even like with some of the regional guys like Josh Smith, who I just talked to, is getting ready to defend his CES title. This is like par for the course for you. Like every week, it's a full slate and a full menu of fights, is it not?
Every week's a big week here, pretty much. We have a long list of high-level fighters, some big things coming up. Marlon Moraes next weekend, that's big. It's exciting news. Horiguchi just re-signing with Bellator. This is big. And then, of course, in December, Amanda Nunes defending her title, along with Dustin Poirier fighting for the undisputed title. All really big stuff coming up. December is going to be monstrous.
Let's talk about some of those names. Marlon Moraes coming into this fight on back-to-back losses. He's lost 3 out of 4. He seems to be, he's still in love with the game from all the conversations I've had with him, but, he's hit a couple of roadblocks right now. How would you sort of assess his mentality heading into this fight with Merab Dvalishvili?
He's in a great spot mentally, super athletic, super poised, and but you look at the guys that he lost to, this is top of the food chain. This is the elite of the elite, and that's the fight game. That can happen. But he's still capable of beating anybody and being champion in that weight class. He just needs to focus and be ready on fight night. But he has all the tools and the mindset to do it.
Being a coach and being part of game plans and preparation, how would you describe getting ready for a guy like Merab? The guy is an animal, and you know what he's going to do, but he still somehow does it and does it very effectively. How would you sort of gauge Merab and the kind of fight you're going to expect out of him against Marlon?
Try to keep your back off the mat as much as possible and do it with efficiency. It's a guy you can't get tired with because he's not going to get tired. He's got a monstrous gas tank, and he's going to keep coming. He's a guy I really like to watch. I'm a fan of his, and it's a guy that when you do defend the shots, you have to do it with great efficiency and be ready to take advantage, because there are also a lot of holes with his style. He is a bit wild and reckless. He kind of uses that to wear guys down and to break them with his volume attacks. I think when it's all said and done, he'll have the most takedowns in UFC history by the end of his career, I'm sure.
You mentioned December, big month. Amanda Nunes defending her title against Julianna Pena. I know Amanda was feeling a little under the weather. She's back. It was very celebratory when she came back to the gym. I saw her kind of coming out of the gym earlier. She looks intense. She looks ready for December. She's zoned in. How would you describe her mentality and how she's been looking, getting ready for this fight? I know we're still a few months away.
Yeah, just getting better all the time. It's amazing. She's the number one fighter in the world and still improving all the time. It's pretty crazy how much she's still evolving. I don't think people. I think people will be surprised when they see her next fight. I think each time. Whatever it is recently, I don't know what has clicked with her, but in the last year, 2 years, she's accelerating. I think she's trying new things and managing things. Or maybe her training better. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I feel like she's improving more now than even in the past.
Like clicking now, like even before, you didn't feel like it completely clicked before?
I just feel like there's an acceleration of more techniques added to her arsenal, more composed, more relaxed, better vision, better octagon awareness. Kind of the whole thing all combined. There's a lot of pieces to it, and I feel like she's really accelerating.
What is that like for you to see? To see somebody like that, a woman considered and arguably the greatest fighter ever, male or female, to see her continuously better, that she's clicking now. What is that like for you to see?
It's impressive. It's like, it makes you wonder. I think sometimes that's what happens. Also, maybe it's part of its confidence. Sometimes with confidence, you grow, your mentality changes, and you're able to do more and be more open-minded because you believe in a lot of different ideas and techniques, and you're able to try more things, and maybe it just kind of snowballs from there. I don't know. That's my best guess.
And then Dustin Poirier getting ready to challenge Charles Oliveira for the undisputed lightweight title. There's a lot of people. Dustin has put himself in a prime position where he has options, all of them make sense, and a lot of them can put potentially a lot of money in his pocket. And I don't think there's anybody in the sport who deserves that more than Dustin Poirier at this point. When you found out about this fight with Charles, I know Nate Diaz was kind of a name being rumored about and thrown out there. What did you think of the matchup? Because I feel personally that Charles Oliveira is not getting the respect he deserves as the champion. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I don't know. I give him a lot of respect. I mean, I think he's a fan favorite. I think he's, people are excited to see him fight. And he is the champ. Guy's got most subs in UFC history. This is something special. I don't know. Maybe the circle that I'm in or the circles I'm involved in give him a lot of respect. So I don't, maybe in the media a little bit is what you're referring to, but where I'm sitting, he gets a lot of respect.
How do you like the matchups? What's getting ready to solve that puzzle? Because the guy, like you said, most submissions in UFC history, finished Michael Chandler with strikes. I mean, this guy has been the real deal over his last 7 or 8 fights. Speaking of clicking, that's a guy where it's really clicked for. So what's it like kind of putting together those puzzle pieces, getting ready for this fight in the early stages?
I mean, I love the matchup. It's exciting. It's a different style. It's, an elite submission grappler, one of the best in the sport. And it's fun. It's a fun puzzle. But I mean, I think Dustin's the best lightweight in the world, without a doubt. And, one of my favorite stats that they threw out recently that I heard was like he was the quickest to 20 wins, or the third quickest ever to 20 wins in the UFC, behind Anderson Silva and GSP. Pretty damn good company, and that shows what caliber of a fighter he truly is. He's, one of the greatest to ever do the sport.
It's sort of wild to think about because 2 years ago, almost to the day, is when he had the fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov in Abu Dhabi, and he went in there and he took the loss in stride. He said what he said. He's some very powerful words in the octagon with John Anik after. And to see what he has done since then, it's pretty remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it shows you that you think you're out, but it's 1 or 2 fights you're right back in there. Never count yourself out. The sport changes so quickly. But and sometimes with the title, the world championship, there's a little bit of luck involved, with timing, promotion, so many things. The luck on the night. Sometimes the better fighter doesn't always win. There's all kinds of things that factor in. But you look at his overall resume. I mean, it's unbelievably impressive.
And then last thing, I do want to talk about Jorge Masvidal because he seems hungry and ready to get back in there after the loss to Kamaru Usman back in April. How's he been looking? Is that sentiment sort of true that you're seeing that hunger, that desire to get right back in there, get a big fight and try to get back towards getting another title shot? Absolutely.
I think he's going out to Vegas next week to talk to UFC brass and square things away. But he's in the gym all the time, training, getting better, evolving, improving. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, I've said this a million times, but I think, he's got, maybe the highest fight IQ of anybody I know. And he's always adding new weapons to the arsenal, always. I think that's his best asset, is that he has so many skills. And he has those skills for a reason, because he knows how to hone in on a group of ideas and techniques and work until he's got them down and he can pull them off in a fight. And I don't think anybody does it better than him.
And then last thing, this kind of popped in my head. I've been asking a lot of fighters and coaches about this. Can I get your thoughts on the oblique kick? Because obviously that's been a point of contention since this past Saturday. We had the fight between Khalil Rountree and Modestas Bukauskas. The fight ended with an oblique kick. Some fans, some fighters even, are saying we need to ban this technique. Others are just like, these guys are getting kicked in the head, they're getting punched in the head, they're getting knocked out. What's the difference? What are your thoughts on the oblique kick in modern MMA?
Game on. I think that, a shin to the face, is much worse than torn ACL. I've had my leg torn apart in a fight with, torn my ACL and a bunch of other ligaments and cartilage and all that jazz from a leg lock. And I think it should be legal. I think that's part of the game, and I think it's a dangerous game. But I would rather have a torn ACL than, massive head trauma where I forget some of my childhood memories.
That's a good point. Mike, thank you for the time. A lot of irons in the fire as always. Thank you very much.